Hi and welcome back to another Onkruid video. I'm gonna come clean, I'm gonna be honest. Betrayed you guys a little bit. I did one off-camera run with the Spellblade yesterday. I'm gonna play him again because I want to get him up to prestige level 30. What I did with him was just another run on the first map with curse level 4, so no crazy new unlocks or anything. That's not what I wanted to go for, no. I just wanted to play a nice little run, but I didn't want to ruin the surprise and the progress. Alright, map, pardon me, 3, the Whispering Grove, curse level 4, and we're going with the same type of build we have been going with for the past couple of episodes because it always remains successful. So why change something up when it works, which is definitely something I live by. If I sound a bit weird or my articulation is even worse this episode than in other episodes, it's because I have a little wound, a little painful spot on my tongue on the left side, on the left side here, and it's really annoying. Having these small little health quirks like wounds and stuff and irritations in your mouth, that's I think one of the most frustrating locations to have them, in my opinion. Sure, we'll go for maximum health from the start, because I mean it's just so annoying, and it's such an important place of your body. You use it quite a lot because you often talk a lot during the day, and it's just so annoying if something is wrong in there, because you also constantly feel it, don't you? It's right now it's like somebody's holding like pincers and just holding my tongue out a little bit, and just like the tiniest little stretch, just like you know, just like a little and it's very annoying. Magic missiles, let's go. Going for a frontal arcane physical missile magical build, and we're just gonna have a blast. But yeah, having a wound in your mouth, I hope some of you probably are, I hope at least some of you are right now like, well, what the fuck is he talking about? I never have that problem. None of you have ulcers in there, or I believe they are called canker sores in English, because that's definitely a problem I encounter a lot. It always happens when you're stressed and when you're not sleeping enough, but I have it also just randomly sometimes, I feel like. Sure, Arcane Beam. I told you we were going Arcane. And we also picked Arcane Rift. Leave a trail behind you, applying Exposed. Never gotten that ability before, but I guess it incentivizes to move around a little bit. Your mouth is a precious region of your body, you know? I think eating is something a whole lot of people enjoy quite a lot. Talking is of course something of vital importance just in our day-to-day life, whatever kind of person you are and whatever you have to do or are doing. That's not arcane. Arcane Sparks though, almost full arcane build. Yeah, there's a lot of work has been done on my mouth already. I had a set of crooked teeth at birth, like really literally donkey teeth. It was not a sight to behold. It was not that appealing, I think, but after a lot of dental medical procedures, I think it all worked out fine in the end. There's still some little mishaps in there. I have this hole in between the first 2 teeth in my mouth. A lot of difficult words for me today. Teeth, mouth. I have a little gap in between those 2 still. So that is something that is still bothering me sometimes, although I don't really care about it. I also still have a wire at the back of my teeth, which is like a aftercare procedure, if you will, after you receive a type of bracers, here in Belgium at least. 2 little wires, both at the top and at the bottom of my mouth. I have 1 little wire, but they are not bothering me at all. I always just completely forget that I have them, so it's no big deal. Area effect for the arcane trail does seem to do quite a lot of damage. Let's upgrade our maximum health a little bit more, and all in all I think we have quite a strong run. It's not exactly the same run we always do. We're a bit more focused on one element, whereas normally we have this. Oh, well, our generalist ability might be a bit less potent this run, but arcane assault. You hit enemies in front of you, huh? I think that's fitting. That's gonna be fitting us better than the arcane bolt, whatever it was, the arcane sphere. Vicious strikes. You can never go wrong with that. And you know what else you can never go wrong with? A nice little quiz, and that's exactly what I have planned for this evening today. It's gonna be very handy because it's actually in my hometown, so I don't have to go very far. It has been organized by a youth movement here in the area. And I'm just looking forward to increasing my quiz knowledge a little more. I don't know why I took armor power there, because we don't have heroic strike on this run, but either way, it's just gonna be very interesting. Gonna learn a lot of new stuff. It's with my Chris part of the family, with my mom, and then also with my buddy Berglicht. It's a fun opportunity for us to do a bunch of things together again, because now that our lives are a bit different, him still being in university and me being graduated, and him not having a student home anymore but coming from home every single day, it changed things up a little bit. Normally we would see each other a bunch, we would go to the library together and stuff, but now, the last couple of years, we have seen each other less and less. We still see each other almost every weekend when we go for a round of squash normally, but that has been put on the back burner a little bit lately as well, I feel like, because I almost always have other things to do on Saturday, quizzes mainly. And now it's a nice opportunity to do some stuff together again, because he likes to join us for those quiz adventures. And I'm really looking forward to it. Pardon me. A bit of an area upgrade never hurt nobody. Attack speed still. I feel like we are investing a lot in this arcane rift ability, so I should definitely be moving around. But in a late game, when I'm trying to kite away the lords, I think it's gonna be a very, very beneficial effect for us to have that ability. And all in all, for now, I don't see how we will be experiencing any troubles with this difficulty, clearing it out. In my run yesterday that I did off camera, I had a lot of difficulty clearing out this same difficulty but on another map, so I feel like right now we just have a bit of a stronger run, I guess. To fill. An extra dash is something I would normally never take, but lately I have seen the benefits of it. I have come around on an extra dash upgrade. It can be very, very helpful. Very helpful indeed. Whew. God damn. I feel like this is episode 21 of Soulstone Survivors. We're getting there. We're almost 1/4 of the way of my goal of 100 episodes, and I'm still enjoying every one of them. I hope it's not getting too boring for you guys still, because I do realize myself that in some episodes the rambling capacities have been diminishing a little bit. They have been slowing down, or there have been repetitions of subjects probably, but I guess that is only normal. You probably notice this in your real life friends as well, right? If you see them a bunch of times, you know that they are talking about the same things quite often. And it's no problem, it's no big deal. The only thing I have difficulty with is if they like literally have the same one story that they retell 20 times in a row. Or in one night just saying the same things multiple times in a row. Then I just start worrying about my friends. I'm like, are you good, bro? Do we need to check that old brain of yours? Do we need to check that cranium if everything is still in order? Everything is still attached correctly up in there? But I've definitely fallen a victim to it myself as well. Or telling that's something I really, really dislike of myself, of when it happens. Telling someone something that you're really hyped about, really passionate about, for example, something new in your life, like, hey, I got a new job by the way, or I moved to a new place, and that person is like, oh yeah, you told me last week. That's such a awkward and such an annoying feeling. Not only because you kind of bring across this message of, oh yeah, I don't remember our conversations because they're not important to me, but also like you wanted to share your story again, right? You were so hyped about it, and now you're like, oh, I told you already. Did I also tell you about this new soap dispenser I got in that new apartment? Because that's new information, that's pretty cool. Please give me some validation, you know? And everything just falls into shambles. Your conversation stops, everybody thinks it's awkward, everybody goes home, the party is over, even though it's only 7 p.m. Should have just shut up about the soap dispenser, my man, goddamn. Soap dispensers are vital though. Washing your hands, definitely an underrated part of our life. I feel like, I mean, since COVID, of course, it became much more important, and a lot of people saw the importance and did it regularly. But I feel like it's just such an underrated little action you can take to make you feel better. Just smelling your hands afterwards and realizing, like, yeah, the things I am now interacting with the world with, my hands, are now clean. They smell fresh. If I would now shake someone's hand, they might even catch a little glimpse, catch a little sniff, and they're like, is that lavender mixed with almond? God damn, this guy washes his hands, and that lands you jobs at jobs interviews, you know? Having clean hands, having some basic hygiene definitely lands you jobs. Yesterday I went for a second kind of job interview at the location I'm gonna start working for half-time in. And the person, the boss that had to take my picture for on their website, she told me, I told her, look, I'm not that good looking when it comes to photos, when it comes to pictures, I've accepted this, I'm not the most photogenic person out there, so every picture of me is just gonna be fine, I don't mind. And she told me, yeah, well, I like the pictures, I think you have a character face. That's basically a rough translation of it. She said a karakterkop for all my Dutch fans. A character face. And I had some trouble dissecting what the hell that meant, and also if it was just positive and or negative. So I told her, like, damn, that sounds like quite an aggressive word. And she was like, oh, no, I didn't mean it that way. So it was quite a funny interaction with my new boss. Seems to be a delightful person, like really somebody that cares about the people that work for her, somebody that cares a lot about the job and the quality of work she provides. And I think I have landed in a beautiful spot right there in that other team. And the team I am already working in right now for the past couple of months is also just amazing, absolutely amazing. So I've really fallen into the butter, as we would say in Dutch. I don't know if that saying translates into English, but either way, what I want to say is I've gotten lucky. I've definitely gotten very lucky. Oh man, this little wound thing on my tongue is really killing me. It feels like there's just like a little rock in my mouth, you know, that's always shifting and scraping up. Not the best feeling in the world. But hey, if you're a YouTuber, you need to use that oral cavity sometimes, you know, you need to put it to work. You get no days off from speaking, from talking, unless if you record video game aesthetics videos, which I definitely should do again. But lately, by getting into the world of having two jobs, life has been a little bit hectic. I'm sure you can all understand that. This weekend, for example, I'm definitely gonna have to look for an accountant, because as I will be looking into becoming an independent clinical psychologist, I need somebody to keep my financial data straight, to make sure that I pay all the taxes on everything that I need to pay taxes on, for example, because that's a part of life that I am very bad at. There's administration, paperwork, having things in order, billings and stuff. Not my forte, not my strongest ability, not my talent, not something I excel at all. Something I do excel at though is getting easy victories in Soulstone Survivors. Just 2 lords left, then this 21st episode and this run getting the Sentinel to prestige level 30 will be completed. And it's easy enough. What I did yesterday, just completely shifting gears again, to prepare for the quiz a little more that I have tomorrow, is, or that I have today rather, is look at a Belgian website, or a Dutch website at least, with a whole bunch of example quiz questions. And it was interesting. I went into the gaming section and you had like a question like, for example, how many fields are there on to land on are there on a regular Monopoly board? If you're anything like me, you probably first started thinking like, alright, so you have 2 brown fields and then 3 light blue fields, and then you have the train station in between, you have to pay taxes, you have chance cards, and then you realized, oh wait, no, it's just 10 times 4 because you need to go 10 times. You need to go 10 spaces to go around to one side. And there is 4 sides to a Monopoly board. And, fun fact, there is 4 sides to any rectangle in the world. How about that? That was an interesting question. Another question they often ask, I think, is how many fields are there in a chessboard? I believe the answer is 38, but I'm not sure. And you have to look it up for yourselves because I'm not editing this video, so I'm not including it in the edits. But yeah, I believe it is 38 in fact. And then what else was there? There was questions about Uno. Interesting, a question I actually got on a quiz earlier already, and I found that online, so that's how you know that this is indeed a valid source to prepare for the quizzes here in Belgium. Like, the question is framed as, we all know Rovio for their game Angry Birds, but a bit more recently they also released a game about the adversaries of the Angry Birds, the green little pigs, and you have to build contraptions to get them somewhere and to collect collectibles along the way. What's the name of that game? And I remember that I got the question. I remembered that it was something with piggies, but I still didn't remember the answer to the question, so more preparation was definitely needed. Bad piggies is the answer, by the way. I played that game once and it's a blast, but I played it like a whole while ago. I believe that was like on my previous laptop or something. I don't think it was even on this gaming computer, so it definitely was a while back. But it was a fun game to sink some hours into, not like a mindless, addicting piece of shit like Soulstone Survivors. Eliminate 500 Lords of the Void. You gain an extra reroll every 5 levels. Ruining power costs 3 though. Oh, that's steep. That is a steep cost indeed. Are we gonna go into endless mode? Sure. Let's go into overlord mode for a little bit. Maybe unlock a new achievement if we can. Right. Right you are. You unlocked a new character, the ability to buy a new character. I wonder what that guy is gonna have as his primary ability. He seemed to be a bit of a druidic person, a bit connected with the forest like Radagast in the Hobbit movies. One of my favorite characters in those movies. I think probably from a lot of people. It always helps if you have like the most serious or like a very, very serious movie like Lord of the Rings or like The Hobbit, and then all of a sudden you have those quirky, funny little characters like Radagast. I feel like it would have been the same if Tom Bombadil would have actually been translated into Peter Jackson's trilogy. He would also be just like kind of a humoristic scapegoat, if you will, but more like just an opportunity to calm down a little bit and to remember like, hey, right, I'm watching a story, to not get too invested into the story. Tom Bombadil is of course a very interesting enigma. I might reread the Lord of the Rings stories sometime in my life, but maybe first of all I should read all the 20 books that are still here that I haven't read but I have bought already, and then also maybe I should read the other Tolkien books. I've listened to The Hobbit in audiobook format and that was a great decision. That was very, very fun. Listened to it while running for a while as well, and that was just really interesting. An interesting experience. Damn, the 3 lords are already here. So I'm not gonna reread that. But like the Silmarillion and stuff. The things actually preceding the adventures of the Lord of the Rings from the first age, whereas the Lord of the Rings I think takes place in the 3rd age if I'm not mistaken. Or is it the 2nd age? I'm gonna get some angry comments by posted by my brother if he would watch these videos probably. But I believe the Lord of the Rings takes place in the 3rd age, right? And the Hobbit probably still. But about the Hobbit I'm not sure. But yeah, the 1st age is Silmarillion. And I think that's also where the Rings of Power are now situated. I think that's also about the 3rd age, but that's a controversial topic. I haven't seen anything about it yet, but I know that a lot of people dislike it. But as we talked about in the past, Lord of the Rings fans can also just be elitist gatekeepers sometimes. And I think that kind of harms the enjoyment of the franchise for some people. And it's sad. It's very sad indeed. Alright, at least these first lords are, I think, gonna fall at our hands. At our hands drenched in arcane magic. Getting some nice potent upgrades. There we go, easy enough. Agile, moving a bit faster even still. Agile, moving a bit faster even still. Make sure that we don't get our revive pop by just standing there and trying to collect the gems, because we don't need them either way. You would normally want to collect the gems as quickly as possible because you want to have all the experience orbs in the map float into you, get sucked into you. But of course, if you have multiple bosses and you pick up one of those gems, that effect already occurs, and then there's not going to be many experience orbs left on the ground for you to pick up by picking up another one of those boss gems. So you might be better off leaving them around a little bit and then clearing out a bit more of the map and only then picking up that next gem. Exactly what I did right now. And it will give me another level and another level even. Is this... Oh, wow, they in my mind they looked similar for a second. You know what, let's go with fragility. I don't think we have picked a fragility upgrade in the past, and I think it might help us out a little bit, even though it's already only a low percentage. But with our multicast and attack speed that we have right now, we are definitely casting a lot of abilities. I also casted a lot of abilities on League of Legends last night. I played alone. All by myself. Played all by myself yesterday evening because there were no friends around. No buddies were online. So I just queued up for some solo ranked games and I had a blast. 2 wins, 1 loss. 2 wins in the AD carry position, or the marksman position in the bot lane. 1 game as Sivir, the Huntress, the Warrior Princess or something. And then one game as Ziggs, because we already had a team filled with attack damage champions, so we needed some ability prowess. And then one game with Annie, the final game, not a conventional bot lane pick. And we just got ransacked in that game, because that game was a fiesta. We were up against two champions that were not that meant for the bot lane either. And my support was a Bard, and if anybody plays AD carry and has been supported by a Bard, you know what I'm gonna say. That motherfucker was like in lane for 10 seconds and then I just didn't see him again. Sometimes I saw a little glimpse of him springing across my minimap somewhere, but yeah, no. That Bard was just roaming to his heart's content and leaving me behind to try and clean up the mess that we made in a bot lane together first. And it didn't work out all that well. That's a game we lost. And I played quite poorly. I played quite poorly because I was behind, so I really couldn't do all that much. There's a lot to dodge over here, isn't there? Goddamn. Still was fun though. I definitely learned to enjoy League of Legends over the years and not make myself too worried about whether I'm actually winning or not. Attack speed. Some defensive upgrades might be warranted by now, because I feel like we are taking a beating. Another dash might help us out a little bit, but we definitely need some more tankiness just. Because our second revive was just popped. I think this is the furthest we have gotten in Overlord Moto, probably. Killing two cycles of Lords, but I'm not even sure. And I guess that if you go up to 15 Lords of the Void killed, you will progress even further. So you can go down to Overlord Mode Cycle 2. Probably, right? Oh man, here you can see all the extra debuffs and extra hindrances they put onto your plate. Enemy movement speed, absorption shield, extra Lords of the Void. Alright, interesting. Attack speed. Some block power, please, because we need to stay alive for a while. I don't think I want to keep this run on forever. My mom is also just picking me up in an hour or something probably, so I need to quit then. And then what I'm gonna do at home is first of all try to contact an accountant. Then read through the notes I took in my second part of the job interview yesterday. I still need to write a little bio text for their website, and also about the type of psychological guidance I want to provide for people. I have to look into the next part of my education, where I want to become an actual therapist instead of just being a psychologist, and I need to look into when I can apply for that position, because you need to apply to get into that education. It's like a degree after a master's degree, so that's going to be really interesting if I get in. I think those are the main parts of the things that I actually have to do. What I also want to do is definitely read another chapter of my book about worrying. That first video was a blast to make. It got some attention, but I don't necessarily do it for the attention. It might come... what I do it for is summarizing the information in such a way that I need to bring it into a video. Makes me really pick out the essentials. And then also on top of that, it makes me... damn, this ability is doing so much damage, this Arcane Rift. It makes me pick out the essentials, and it makes me try to explain them in an easy manner so that everybody can understand them. And in doing that, in making that summary for myself and then even speaking about it out loud, actually talking about those things, I get a much better understanding of the concept, and I definitely remember it a lot better as well. And that is definitely very, very beneficial. That's why I like creating psychology videos so much, because, for example, also the Krabgra and Fregoli delusion, that's how well I remember it, I don't even know the name, are things that I now know by heart just by making video about it. If you haven't seen the videos, by the way. Krabgra is that you come home and you think that everybody in your house has been replaced by strangers in disguises. Fregoli is that you think that strangers are actually your family members or people you know in disguise, so they're kind of opposites, if you will. Makes it easy to remember them. Possible quiz questions, of course, so they need to be fresh inside of my mind. Alright, 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 look at us. We're actually doing a-okay. That's a bit ironic. We're doing a-okay. Bam! Stricken down by the hand of the enemy. We have 200,000 miner soulstone, that's a cool little milestone. And then we also have level 39 on the Sentinel, which makes it our highest prestige level right now. The endless mode is definitely very, very beneficial for getting into higher prestige levels. And then here we go, the Beastmaster, which we are going to try out next time. Poisonous, alright, Venomous Strike, sure, I can get down with that. Maximum health, less damage, higher cast frequency, less experience, and higher multicast. Interesting. I'm gonna purchase it right now, and we're gonna play with him at the Cobra Totem. At the end, or at the start of the next episode. It's the end of this episode, that's what I meant to say. Bye bye, see you in the next one.